Hello, this is Martin Limited back for another video, and Alexa, set timer for 30 minutes.
30 minutes.
That's what I'm talking about. Oh yeah. So we're back again. Still spreading our influence. The last time, if anyone watched it, the Arab-Iraqi war happened. So there's now a communist Kurdish military government in Iraq. There's North Iraq, South Iraq, and Kuwait. Meeting with the Czechoslovakian leaders, senior Soviet leaders, including Soviet Secretary General, have met with First Secretary CWIC and President Zbrodny of Czechoslovakia. The Soviet leaders urged Czechoslovakia to end its liberalization program from film to Moscow Communist lines. They noted that liberalization has led to a growing movement demanding multi-party elections and anarchy. They stressed if order is not restored, then communism itself may collapse in street pride. However, the Czechoslovakian leaders noted that popularity followed programs about strengthening the party popularity among the people. Instead of capitulating to Soviet demands, they suggest the Soviets treat them as a model to reform party and reiterate support for communism. The Soviet Secretary General might decide this front either condemn the Czechoslovakian model or instead bring it to Moscow and initiate more liberal reform programs to test its validity. Technically, this is where the Czechoslovakian the Prague Spring happens. It brings some liberal reforms to Moscow. We're already technically doing that in a way, so I guess why not? First hack of the day. Button. Establish dependent state. Now we've got the al-Shia. I think I said that one. Al-Shia party in control. The Communist Party of Iraq. Creating the People's Republic of Iraq. Continue to watch you. The 19th Olympiad Games. The Games for the 19th Olympiad were held in the Mexico City. This first time the Olympic Games were held in the Latin America or Spanish-speaking country. The Olympics were on high alert as Mexico was undergoing a massive protest and riot. 10 days before the Summer Olympics started, students gathered in Plaza de las Tres Culturales in Tlatelolco to call for greater civil and democratic rights. The government ordered the gathering to be broken up and sent 5,000 troops and 200 tanks to the plaza. Hundreds of students were killed and hundreds more were wounded and arrested. Another controversy was American athlete Tommy Smith and John Carlos stood at the podium for a medal ceremony wearing black socks instead of shoes, without shoes, a civil rights badge, and civil rights badges. They then lowered their heads and each defiantly raised a black glove fist as the Star-Spangled Banner were played in solidarity with the Black Freedom Movement in the United States. The U.S. earned the first place, gaining 107 medals, the USSR second place with 91 medals, and Japan third with 25 medals. The next Summer Olympics will be held in Munich in the Federal Republic of Germany in 1972. Very interesting. So you're actually starting your 5-year plan. Also 22 days till that. What the hell is that? Just 5. Oh, there it is. This will last till 1973. Experimental Virgin Lands campaign in the Kazakh Soviet Socialist Republic. Don't know what a Virgin Lands campaign is, but alright. I mean, we get the space station before we get that, but still. Need to get more political power. Cheating to victory. Evolution, vision, and cultural evolution. You have finished your Focus 3 till 1970. There we go. Agreed. So they just need to bulwark against imperialism. Then they can declare the Democratic People's Republic of Nigeria. Jolly good. Get you. Woohoo. The Secret War. The blockade of Vietnamese coast virtually halted all smuggling arms to Carlos guerrillas in South Vietnam. South Vietnam's long since been done with. In the north, in response, North Vietnam expanded operations of the 550th Transportation Group. Northern Vietnam doesn't exist. The route called the route which had established a series of trails from North Vietnam to South Vietnam. The route called the Ho Chi Minh Trail sprawled over from Vietnam into parts of Laos, Cambodia. Efforts by the United States to push the Cambodian Laotian governments to interrupt these supply lines failed, frustrated by the increasing infiltration of fighters into South Vietnam. The United States government has decided to start a bombing campaign. Operation seeks to target North Vietnamese forces, facilitate supply routes in both Cambodia and Laos. This operation greatly expands the Vietnamese war, but The American policymakers believe the air power can greatly hinder the North Vietnamese efforts and tear down the North Vietnamese forces who would likely otherwise head south, more violent in Indochina. So I'm going to puppet all these. I'll wait till if it does happen that the Cambodian civil war happens, so I can just when the communists back the communists, let the communists win, then coup Pol Pot and let Marxist Leninists take over. I'll take Lao because even though they're only connected by a board by a slim margin through Lang Nektab, they're also not controlled by anyone, so hey ho. There you go. I right for infiltration. Plus also if there's still communist guerrillas, we're just helping them overthrow the government's not just about it. Anyway. You can't do anything. You're getting a nuclear bomb. You've done that, whatever that is. We're now introducing sweet corn into Ukraine. Khrushchev will be proud, I think. I don't know. A few days apart. I bet we can do it. For the world revolution, we must go far. Also, India is now communist. I mean, they were pro-Soviet, so I wouldn't see anything different about that. But hey, well done, the communists have taken over. And now they can basically create their spread communism to all the other neighbors, including Nepal and stuff. So can't wait to see how the People's Republic of India does its stuff. Okay, so two things just happened. So since there's a glitch to the 1958 thing won't happen, but hey, and America considers recognizing Rhodesia. In Washington, there is increased belief that many leftist independent movements operating in Africa are communist fronts. Quite a few of them were. These groups try to portray themselves as freedom fighters, but they are laying the groundwork for the future when they transform into a totalitarian communist state. That actually did happen for Zimbabwe, Rhodesia. Nations like Rhodesia, once vilified for its strong stance against such groups, are now being portrayed as an anti-communist redoubt in Africa. Supporters of Rhodesia are lobbying for the White House to ignore the communist and recognize Rhodesia. They want Rhodesia to receive the support needed to continue their resistance to communism. When these advocates are pressed on Rhodesians' race policy, they often state that it's in turmoil with Rhodesians, but one that can change over time with the help of the United States. Interesting. They should have been allowed to exist, by the way. Just saying. The Bulgarian Great Leap Forward. Bulgaria was announced today that it will be escalating its full Great Leap Forward. This announcement comes after widespread rumors the initial failures of Zhukov's thesis. It appears the Bulgarian Communist Party has doubled down on rapid industrialization and now processing a Bulgarian economy will grow to the largest economy in the Balkans. This announcement has brought condemnation to many countries who worried a complete agricultural collapse despite concerns. The entire Bulgarian population has already been mobilized and deployment of countryside is rapidly accelerating industrialization. So instead of China doing the great leap forward, it's Bulgaria doing it. I mean, they've got new territory in Macedonia. I bet it could work. I hope. I need to debug. Zim. Don't catch. Yep. Auto dot. No, not auto. Focus dot. No checks. And focus dot auto complete. Oh, and then go focus dot auto complete. Focus dot auto complete. Focus dot no checks. Which is work. Tag solve debug. This is for a bit and it's back. So you now can actually do your focus tree. Each generally requests additional funds. And I think you complete. No, you got stuff to do. Each German requests additional funds. The German Democratic Republic, or DDR, recently sent a delegation requesting additional funds to support their economy. The DDR has an ambitious plan to establish an economy superior to its capitalist neighbour in order to demonstrate the superiority of socialism and to undermine Western propaganda. The German officials admit they have underestimated the costs needed for this or their economic projections, but insist to Soviet funds that they can achieve its goals, provide with victory for the entire socialist world. We must carefully consider the requests, decide if we can trust Germans effectively to use the funds. If not, we must use them to reiterate objectives and try not to simply spend their way out of trouble. Send the funds. You're reopening the Otto Kringer Brewery. That's interesting. Firstly, how did the People's Party lose? And B, you're not even a monarchy, so this shouldn't even have happened. The Shah Mohammed Reza Party officially coronated as the estranged during a extravagant coronation. Sorry, needed to check if the headphones were still working. coronation in Tehran, even though technically he's not even in Tehran, and technically the government is a communist one, and he's been deposed for ages. He had previously gone by the title King, but as the coronation adopts the ancient title of Shahanshah, King of Kings. The new title emphasizes his links to the long history of Iranian royalty that goes along with his efforts at trying Iranian identity towards the ancient cultural past. When asked why he chose his coronation after a decade as king, the Shah declared Iran was a poor country when he took the throne, and now he's earned his title in the audience. He will now be referred as His Majesty instead of His Majesty. His Imperial Majesty, instead of His Majesty. I don't think he's the Shah of anything. Technically, it's a republic under a communist proletarian dictatorship, so definitely he hadn't really coronated anything. Jordanian army attacks al-Nasser. Recent operation by the Jordanian army launched to crack down against the Fedayeen group called al-Nasser. Al-Nasser is not particularly popular due to recent operations which they targeted Jordanian police outposts. The Jordanian government is publicized and its hardline to demonstrate its authority and makes an example. The king hopes the operation against al-Nasser will help restore control over the Fedayeen groups and help build confidence in the government. Many Jordanians are growing frustrated with the Fedayeen acting as a state within their state and how the group provokes violent Israeli reprisals that often punish Jordanian civilians. Authority restored. Sweet corn has just been added to Ukraine. Hope that does well. And build the North Crimean water canal. I think that actually happened in real life too. PV222. So the Passet Lao is now retaken. Starting from some new. President Rockefeller. Wherever we look upon this world, the opportunity takes shape within the problems. Nelson Rockefeller. Hail the chief. So Nelson Rockefeller has just taken over control. I wonder how things will go under him. They're pulling out anyway. In a few days, I think it'll happen in 6 minutes, but let's hope it happens in 6 minutes time frame. We'll maybe not. We'll get space stuff, but probably not this time. The 7-point agreement. The King of Hussein of Jordan and the Palestine Liberation Organization recently concluded a 7-point agreement. This legitimizes the Palestine Liberation Organization militias, known as the Fedayeen, within Jordan, and restrains unlawful Fedayeen action towards the government. The Fedayeen agreed to stop moving around Jordanian cities. These armed and in uniform, they are forbidden from searching civilian vehicles that must keep Jordanian identity cards along with vehicle registration. Although most Palestine Liberation Organization groups appear willing to accept the agreement, some of the more hawkish groups have said it to be upset, and it is unclear if the main Palestine Liberation Organization leadership will be able to restrain all groups. Peace restored. So, hope for both. I'll probably just extend the video to see both happening, so that's probably what will going to happen. Crisis of the Partsidallis oil rig. Today, the Dimitrios Partsidallis oil rig unexpectedly caught fire at 2:34 a.m. near the island of Crete. The rig belonged to the Democratic Republic of Greece, suffering a critical failure in one of its oil containment cylinders, leading to an unknown amount of oil spewing into the Mediterranean Sea. The total failure for the rig was only stopped by Greek workers able to keep the fire from spreading to the extraction site. It is estimated that 10 people have died and an unknown number of injured, and the director of Greece has refused to comment on the situation as more countries from both sides of the Iron Current demand answers. A close call. So that just happened. You haven't known anything about this. So this is the thing they're talking about. So things will just get worse from here on out. Really bad, in fact. Anyway, more important things, just how's Vietnam? Gotta get some more political power to my base. Anyway. Just a few more minutes and we'll get the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics launched its first monolithic space station. We can get this soft landing and return. The first space station successfully achieved low orbit. Officials across the world confirmed the Union of Soviet Socialist Republic's successful launch of a monolithic structure. The Union of Soviet Socialist Republic's spokesperson stated follow-up missions will soon be sent to place astronauts on the station and it moves to higher orbit. The space station will allow scientific studies and allow astronauts to spend longer periods of time in space. The station allows long-term exploration of space and provides great potential benefits to all mankind. Experts note the construction and launch coordination needed to place the spaceship ensures the expertise and superior capability of the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics. This is amazing. Thought the game crashed for a second. Ooh, whoa. Got you, so now expand the fishing factory ship fleet. 2 more. The Soviet Union launches the first manned soft landing and return. Millions across the world held their breaths as astronauts from the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics successfully launched on the moon and splashed down. The historic mission required an immense commitment of resources and time. The leaders and journalists across the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics are praising the mission for demonstrating unprecedented bravery, technological prowess, and dedication. Footage from the mission of the successful lag planning on lunar versus and brought intense national pride for the citizens of the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics. For millions and others, their imaginations have been captured. However, people living in rival spacefaring nations lose bittersweet as they hoped their nation would be the first. This is amazing. I thought it was supposed to be like a super event. Come with it. No? Damn. Uh, 15 seconds to the end of the video. Oh, by the way, and you're not even fully independent, so you have to work. I just spent a budget for nothing. Alexa, stop. Whoa, the waste. But hey, we got... Oh, it's a communist India, so who really can blame? Thank you, Shurapat Amrit Dange. Also, this video is now officially over. So let's go through what all our allies are doing. In Austria, you're purging suspected opportunists in the Kommunistische Partei Österreichs. You're expanding metalwork production. You're encouraging anti-Semitism. You can't do anything. You're doing urban services. You're doing urban renewal. You're requesting Soviet nuclear technology. You are revising urban planning. You're rumors fantastic and malicious propaganda. You're getting Comic-Con aid. You're cracking on industrial corruption. You are researching cost-efficient fertilizer. You can't do anything. You can't do anything. You're getting scientific investments. You can't do anything. 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 You're getting airborne cavalry corps. You're getting realpolitik. You can't do anything. Damn. You can't do anything. You can't do anything. You can't do anything. You're getting White Highland buyback programs. You can't do anything. You're attacking infrastructure. You can't do anything. 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 You can't do anything, and you can't do anything. Great, 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 great. Yeah. I'll probably put a communist pub in Cuba now that I think about it. That'll be a good idea. Anyway, with the Soviet space race East done, with Soviet victory in that front of the Cold War, I'll call this video due. We still haven't got the 6th of September coup, even though it's now past 6th, so it's technically going into 1969. We'll see that then. The video is my only chance to turn Finland communist. Right. Yeah, what's everyone else doing? You can't do anything. You can't do anything. You can't do anything. You can't do anything till 1969, where you can either get gay rights or restrict leftist employment. You're getting missiles and reform the RTS. And getting ready for a new election. Also, there is if you negotiate with protesters, you can possibly get a new election where you could have a civil war. That would be kind of cool, actually. Madrid, you can't do anything. And the UK, wait, you do have stuff. You can't do anything until 1970, however. Yeah. Also, you need the down emergency, which hasn't even happened yet. So there's either increased women's rights or strengthen relations with the People's Republic of China. Okay. So with that, I call this video due. And hope to see you next time. Hope to see you again. This is Mountain signing out. Good day, goodbye. Goodbye.